Welcome to another round of my little guitar demo series. Today, of course, I have something special. I thought to myself, when I looked in the mirror in the morning and saw here 2 pimples growing directly in my face, I thought, this must be a sign or something like that. And shortly afterwards, I had a phone call. And there was a sign, because now I have 2 guitars. One I have here in my hand, and the other you can see here. Yeah, look for yourself what I have here. This is a original 1954 Fender Stratocaster, first production year, with this wonderful Mississippi Swamp Ash, legendary from this production year. I don't think they built too many guitars afterwards in the 50s and in the 60s with Mississippi Swamp Ash. And yeah, maple neck configuration and 3-way switch. I mean, I don't want to go too much here in the details with these vintage guitars, because this has been done already. And well, what probably not so often has been done is to compare one 1954 Fender Stratocaster with another one. So I have 2 today, and yeah, because myself, I'm a bit confused, you know, which one I'm playing in the moment. So I gave them names, and this here is Juliet, and Juliet has this nice top, this fine, very fine top, and it doesn't really look like 60 years old, isn't it? And the other one, I gave the name Anne. So, but yeah, I don't want to go too much into the details. Just for the newbies, I say, in vintage guitars, Fender Stratocasters in the 50s, they didn't have this 5-way switch. They have this 3-way switch, and but you can have the other 2 positions by just playing around here with the tone switch knob. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. It's part of the fun. And yeah, here you can hear how Juliet sounds with a clean sound. It's just a dream. I mean, how the tone stands, the sustain, the dynamics, it's just all fine. I don't want to go too much in the detail and demonstrate every single sound in every single position. I don't want to do that. I want to do a practical test, and the practical test has the motto, is it worth buying a vintage guitar to have a good sound, and does it matter if I have this vintage guitar or this vintage guitar from the same manufacturer, same year? Do they all sound the same? Of course, they do not sound all the same, and there are more aspects to it, and yeah, I try my best to show you here in this practice test the difference between Juliet and Anne, both Fender Stratocasters from the first production year 1954. Yeah, very nice guitars. Anyway, one would have been enough. Just let me take the opportunity to thank 2 very good friends of mine who lent me the guitars for today. One in Germany and one in California, USA. You know who you are. Thank you a lot, guys. You make a lot of us guitar players happy. And yeah, before I babble too much, I just hit playback here for my loop, and I will cut later when I played everything later for you. I will cut pieces, you know, so that you know I played this part with this guitar and this part with this guitar. So I will always alternate between the two guitars, but of course I can't do that live so quick, and for that I edit it later in the video I did, and yeah, I start with a clean sound first, and yeah, have fun with Juliet and Anne. differences in the sounds of Anne. This is this one, and Juliet. Both guitars are just fantastic guitars, a dream for every guitar player. But anyway, both guitars are different. Maybe you have noticed Juliet, the one I played first, also started first, sounds more round, has more bottom end, has more warmth overall, while Anne here is very aggressive. It's screaming, a screaming wood, very, very aggressive. Whatever you do, it's aggressive. This guitar has this special twang, much more brilliance and everything. But this is not the only difference between Anne and Juliet, both 1954 Fender Stratocasters. The necks are also different. Not the size, it's lesser the size than the fact that Anne's neck here is a little bit curved, while Juliet's neck is very straight. It feels different, of course, the tones are coming different. This is one major difference, and the other difference are the pickups. They obviously are very different from each other. So from this guitar to this guitar, you can't say these are good or these are good. This is not the thing. They're both good, but different. So this is one major conclusion in this comparison between two 1954s. Vintage guitars can be very different. So I said this word different now many times. What I didn't say is that, of course, I didn't play exactly the same, and in the next playback I also won't do that, because this is part of the fun, that every guitar has its own character and somehow leads you into something else to play. So listen carefully how both guitars do differ, not only sound-wise, but also how they inspire me to play certain things, you know, not better things, certain things. I wouldn't play on Juliet the same stuff like on Anne. So, the next playback, enough of my babbling. Yeah, did you notice that on Juliet I played it different than on N? Isn't it interesting? Anyway, both guitars are just fantastic. Fantastic to play, fantastic to bond, inspiring. What I didn't so far, but what I didn't do so far is I always played with a clean tone. So it's Jupmeister 36 amplifier. It was hot, but it was the clean channel. Now I switch to the distorted channel and bring the dynamics a little bit down, so that you can also have a comparison between the dynamic behavior of Juliet and Anne. So if I had to choose between Juliet and Anne, it would be a very, very hard decision. Inhuman, an inhuman decision. But anyway, you heard for yourself, and some of you maybe learned today for the first time, that two vintage instruments from the same year, from the same manufacturer, with the same strings, today, same amplifier, same settings, can sound very, very different and can support different styles of music. So you have to keep that in mind when buying a vintage instrument. Yeah, and I think I'm at the end of my little guitar demo video for today, and I think I keep them both. Yeah, bye-bye.